Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Overtime. I'm Nicole Dubé, joined by Ted Wyman, sports editor for the Winnipeg Sun. And we're going to spend quite a bit of time talking about the Jets today. There's a lot of topics we haven't been able to really address recently, so let's just start by the win over the Leafs this week. Clearly, that was an important win at what is now a crucial point in their season.
Absolutely, a very crucial point in the season. This team, the head coach said before they played Toronto this week, it's now or never.
Yeah.
And they went out and got a win against Toronto. You got to give them credit for that. They checked well, they had good goaltending, and they managed to get just enough goals to win that game. They're still not scoring enough, but
yeah,
this is a team that's going to win with defense and goaltending. And if they can just get enough, well, they'll be okay to sneak some games out. But winning one game over Toronto isn't going to get them into the playoffs. They got to string some wins together. They got to get 3, 4, 5 wins. Noel said it's got to be 2 of every 3 at least.
Yes.
And,
yes.
you know, now they're going into Washington. They got to beat Washington in Washington. They got to win games that people aren't expecting them to win if they're going to have a chance. They could get first place in the Southeast Division still. That's right there for the taking, but they've got to get it done, and they got to start getting it done right now.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but at least we're starting to see some of the injured players returning to the roster, which had plagued the team for the past few weeks. Evander Kane back in the roster and making it quite clear that this injury he sustained was something that did not happen off the ice. There was rumors swirling. What's your take on that?
Well, he said that the injury went back all the way to December 20th against the New York Islanders, and that that's what he pinpointed, and that he had played about a month or almost a month with the injury before he finally said, well, I can't go anymore. He sort of may have re-injured it in a game against Buffalo in January and decided he wasn't going to play anymore. And you know, you wonder if maybe something went wrong there. He didn't say something when he should have, or he wasn't diagnosed properly, but nonetheless, he's back, and he's a huge component for the Jets. They need to have him on the ice. As for the off-the-ice stuff, I can't say that that there's been any proof or anything like that that would suggest that he actually did have an off-ice incident. Everybody in Winnipeg seems to know somebody who knows somebody who saw this happen, but nobody's come forward and said anything, and there's just no proof. He denies it, the Jets deny it, and I think you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And we'll leave it at that, because a rumor is a rumor is a rumor until there's proof. So you know what, let's move on. Evander Kane back in the roster. We're happy about that. Last thing I want to just quickly touch on before we run out of time is trade deadline. That's approaching. What do we think may or may not happen with that?
Claude Noel said this week that the next 2 weeks will mean everything for the Jets in terms of what happens at the trade deadline. He, of course, doesn't get to make the decisions about what happens at the trade deadline. That'll be the management and ownership of this team. But Claude Noel knows that if this team has some success, a little bit of a run of success in the next couple of weeks, then maybe they'll be buyers and try to get somebody to go forward into the playoffs. If not, they're going to be sellers. They got some unrestricted free agents who might command some value on the open market, and they could get some picks and prospects in return. And I see, if it was going to happen today, they'd probably be sellers, but they've got a chance to turn that around. Okay, and we know, Ted, you'll be tracking that, and we'll bring you guys all the latest when it comes to the Jets in our next edition of Overtime. Thanks for watching. I'm Nicole Dubé. Take care.